I first discovered the longing when watching this video by Adam Millard and was immediately fascinated. A game that takes 400 days to beat? 400 real days? But what fascinated me even more was the idea of a longing speedrun, something that the comment section seemed equally interested in. A quick look at speedrun.com revealed that the game did have a page, but there was one disturbing detail. Nobody had ever tried to speedrun the 400-day ending of the game. Now, I consider myself a moderately sane individual, so I wasn't about to commit to routing and running a speedrun that might end up taking dozens, maybe even hundreds of hours. But I thought the idea was funny, so when creating a Wheel of Punishment for my Yokai Watch 3 Nuzlocke, I decided to throw this challenge on the wheel. But I mean, it's not like it'll actually get rolled, right? What will be my first punishment? Okay. So, this is my life now. No use in complaining, I signed up for this. So, let's discuss this route. The main thing you need to understand is there are three main ways to speed up time in the game. First, there are books. Books skip 1 minute ahead for each page you read, and using an auto-clicker, this is the quickest way to speed up time. Unfortunately, each book is a one-time use item, so grabbing them will probably save us a few in-game days, maybe a week, but nothing too crazy. They're worth snagging, but far from our top priority. Second is the musical instrument. Playing this device will speed time up by 10 in-game minutes, and can be repeated endlessly by pressing the right, left, down, and up button on my controller. By the way, I'm playing on the Switch version, it's slightly different on PC. But here's the problem with the music. There are 576,000 minutes in 400 days. So if this was our primary way of skipping time, we need to press buttons over 200,000 times. Meaning hours and hours of grinding, pressing the same 4 buttons in rapid succession. I don't know about you, but that sounds like the sort of thing only a crazy person would do. So we're going to focus on the third way to speed up time. And that way is passive time speed. There are many different ways to speed this up, such as collecting carpets, crystals, building a bed, crafting paintings, and many more. By gathering all these resources, we can make it so a single real-world second is worth about 20 seconds in-game, which would turn our 400-day-long playthrough into a simple 20-day speedrun. Well, I guess that's better than nothing. Now, the route for this is a bit complicated, so I created this slideshow as a guide, which you can find on speedrun.com if you're interested in learning more or want to run the route yourself. Originally, I was going to walk through each step here, but I realized that was heckin' boring, so instead I'll just throw in a quick time-lapse of the routing, and we can talk about the issues I encountered later. Enjoy 8 hours or so of footage compressed into a few minutes of montage time. Alright, we've gotten everything we need. So now it's waiting time. And while I do that, I might as well tell you about some of the finer details of the run. First off, this stupid mushroom. So the wiki says it only takes 8 in-game hours to grow, right? Well, guess what? The wiki is wrong. Apparently it's based on RNG, with one user reporting waiting 24 hours for it to grow and still nothing. So I lost about 30 minutes walking the halls only to have to turn around and wait for the mushroom to grow further. Oh yeah, all the time multiplier things we mentioned, they only work when we are in our home, so any time we're spending outside of our little cave home is suboptimal. But if you thought that was bad, I have worse news. I am officially an idiot. So, there's a point where you have to AFK for about 10 minutes, then answer a quick quiz to pass on. Well, at first I was using my turbo controller, essentially an auto clicker, to keep my controller from powering off and disconnecting, something that did happen quite a few times. But when doing this, it started the quiz, answered the first question right, then the second question wrong. Frustrating, but a 10-minute time loss can be made up within a few minutes of IRL music grinding, so I wasn't worried. The real problem happened when I turned it off, but didn't read the quiz again. Instead, I assumed that the top box was still the correct answer, not realizing that the progress had been saved for my last answer. I did this not once, not twice, nor thrice, not quadrice or quintice, but 6 entire times. And mind you, each time took another 10 minutes of waiting, and me frantically wondering what I was doing wrong. Was the game bugged? Was my turbo controller still firing? I tried using the touch screen, switching controllers, everything I could think of, and almost considered resetting the run. But at this point, I was 7 hours in and didn't feel like wasting an entire Saturday's worth of time, so I pressed on. And eventually realized that I was indeed an idiot, and fixed the problem with relative ease. Hooray. Other than that, there was one pleasant surprise for me, actually. When researching the books of the game, I watched a YouTube video where they went through all the book's pages, but was surprised to realize that the page numbers I had were double. Well, no real problem, right? I mean, it probably just means I'll have to click through twice as many pages for the time skip, but no. No, for some reason, the Switch version is just built to be faster. The books still skip 1 minute per page, but you just get twice the value when playing on Switch. And what's more is the never-ending notebook. In the PC version of the game, the notebook caps at 15,000 pages, which is easily the best book in the game, with more than 5 times the pages of every other book in the game combined. Well, the Switch version caps at 30,000 pages. This single book can skip over 2 weeks of in-game time, a week more than the PC versions. TLDR, Switch version of The Longing is OP for speedrunning. Now, from here, the run should be simple. Just wait around AFK for many hours and profit. Except, I get bored easily. So, well, you know how I said only a crazy person would spend hours spamming the musical instrument? Well, maybe I'm not so sane after all. And I'll be honest, it wasn't even that bad. By playing the music over and over and over and over again, I beat the game in 34 hours, instead of the 480 hours I originally thought it would take. So ultimately, if I were to do the run again for some crazy, wicked reason, I would skip all the passive stuff and just grab the instrument and play it till I won. If any of you are insane enough to try this run, there's a ton of time save available, but I'll be honest, I wouldn't recommend it. Instead, y'all should just tag Easy Speezy with this video and get him to do it instead. Also, a bonus thought experiment. If you were to use a macro to constantly play the music, you might be able to beat the game at insane speeds. Not only could you cut out every side objective from the passive time-passing route, but depending on the mechanics, you might be able to finish the game's 400-day ending faster than the other endings. Now, macros are specifically banned on the 400-day section of speedrun.com, but they are not banned for any percent. So theoretically, if the game was running at 60 FPS, and you had a macro that could play one music note every frame, you could get time moving at 150 in-game minutes per real-life second. This means that after grabbing the music pieces, which the any percent run does in less than 19 minutes, it would only take another 3,840 seconds to finish the game, or 64 minutes, for a total of 1 hour and 23 minutes for a full run. The current world record for any percent finishes at 1 hour and 46 minutes. So if anyone watching knows how to use macros or tool-assisted speedruns, this could be a fun project. But I think I'm done for now. If you liked the video, please subscribe to the channel. I've got many other things planned, including a Yokai Watch 3 Nuzlocke, which will be coming out in December. I'm super excited at all the channel growth that's happened in the last few months. It's seriously been amazing. So if you want to join, that would be amazing. We'd love to have you, and maybe leave a like on the video if you enjoyed it. That's all for me today. Adios.